What's up, everybody? I'm Marcus.
I'm Ryan.
And together, we are the
Northwest Sports Fanatics.
We back at y'all with the Northwest Sports Fanatics daily news,
rumors,
updates,
hirings,
highlights,
firings.
Coming soon with the highlights. So we want to kick it off. The most talked about thing going on right now is the Kevin Love trade.
Right.
Between the Wolves and the Cavaliers is talks going on right now. At first, they was kind of reluctant to include Andrew Wiggins in the trade. But now they think about it, and they are going to include Andrew Wiggins and number one pick from last year, Anthony Bennett, and a future first-round pick. So that's 3 first-round picks they would include for Kevin Love.
Yeah, and Kevin Love is a top 10 player in the NBA. So
Not far.
So it is well-deserved if they do pull the trigger on the trade. Quick breakdown of stats I just want to throw out for LeBron, Kevin Love, and Kyrie if they pull the trigger. So LeBron, 27 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists.
The best in the planet.
The best on the planet. Kevin Love, 26 points, 13 rebounds.
Wow, double-double.
4 assists, right? Maybe a better version of David Lee, right? And then Kyrie Irving, 21 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. So if they pull that trigger and make that happen, this is the best big three in the NBA, unless we can get something from maybe another squad in the NBA, but it doesn't look like anyone's that close.
Yeah, I'd be kind of skeptical of that trade because Wiggins, he has so much potential. And what are you going to do when LeBron leaves? LeBron is about to be 30. Wiggins is only 19.
Right, and then also what happens if Kevin Love gets traded and tears an ACL or has like a back injury or something where he's out for half the season? Then it's almost like you kind of maybe not necessarily wasted the pick, but you never know how good Wiggins could be with LeBron.
Right.
You know?
So that's something for you guys to think about there. Also, while we're talking about Cleveland, I hear they're interested in bringing in your guy,
Okay.
Mr. Greg Oden.
Mr. Greg Oden, so former Trailblazer, Miami Heat reserve, didn't really play. Obviously, a whole lot throughout the season because I think his knees really can't hold up.
Yeah.
But if Cleveland pulls the trigger and signs him, that'll give him a little depth behind Varejao, as we think.
Probably give him about 10 to 15 minutes a game, block a few shots, rough some people up.
Yeah, I would assume not a whole lot of stats, maybe 5 points, couple boards, if he gets in. But we'll have to see if that happens. And also, speaking of the Cavs and LeBron, the big question right now, besides the Kevin Love, is what jersey is LeBron James going to wear?
Uh-oh, that's a good
question. All right, because right now, the NBA and all the people that make the jerseys are on standby because all of the jerseys have gotten sold.
They losing money because of you, LeBron.
Right, because they've already got all the pre-orders from last Saturday since he decided that he was going to come over, but it's not a guaranteed thing if he's going to roll with the 6, right, with Miami, or if he goes back in time to the 23 that he had early in his career with Cleveland. You know what? I'm not really sure. I mean, I think, honestly, if I had to have him choose one, I think I would go with 6 or a new number because it's a new beginning for him.
Exactly.
So why have the fans buy a jersey that they already had? You know what I mean? If they really want to support, maybe have something different. So the rumor is 23 or 6, but also a number that's being thrown out there is number 32. And the number 32 is because he had that his freshman year when he wanted 23 and it wasn't available. So to kind of throw a little mix in there, he might go a little Blake Griffin, with that 32. Magic Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal. So, there's a nice little reputation with that 32. And then LeBron James has the most jerseys sold in the last 2 seasons. No surprise, the best in the game. But one thing I thought was real interesting is in the last 11 seasons, LeBron James has been number 1 6 out of those 11 times.
Wow.
So that really shows his star power with Kobe, Carmelo Anthony, obviously Derrick Rose when he got hot, Dwayne Wade. So shout out to LeBron. Any other news that you have popping off?
We have something going on about Mr. Aaron Brooks.
Okay, Mr. Former Duck. Point guard out there from Eugene.
So where's he hitting the play this year?
Well, he's been kind of floating around the league, you know what I mean? He played a little bit.
Still solid, though.
Still pretty solid.
His best year was the 2009-2010 season with Houston. He averaged 19 points, 5 assists. Great that year.
Right, and he played with the Rockets and the Nuggets, briefly. 9 points, 3 assists, but didn't really get a whole lot of playing time, but I think he's kind of like a Luke Ridnour, formerly of the Oregon Ducks, and some of these like second-level point guards that they may not be good enough to start for an NBA team.
Great backup.
Right, but one of the better backups in the league. So he is going to go to the Chicago Bulls.
Okay.
So now you got Pau Gasol, you got Aaron Brooks, you got Dougie McBuckets, Doug McDermott in the draft. Right. So you're really making a nice little run to get these quality players. And honestly, I don't think necessarily Cleveland has that number one spot kind of sewn up.
Not yet.
Not yet, because the chemistry, it might take them a little while. And Chicago, obviously, with the Thibodeau coaching them, obviously, I think they might be able to get on track a little bit quicker.
Let's see how Cleveland fill out the rest of that roster.
Right, we'll have to see that. And then any other news that you got going on with any kind of signings or anything?
I got one more signing, Ed Davis. I was high on Ed Davis coming out of North Carolina. He was so left-hander, full of potential. But he signed a 2-year, $2 million deal with the Lakers. So to give them some depth there, I like that. So congratulations to Ed Davis. Got some NFL news.
Okay.
Just a little bit to tease y'all. It's almost that time. It's almost that time, right around the corner. So Gronk, he's been injured, tore the ACL. Then he had the elbow and the wrist thing last year.
Right.
This year he says he's healthy. He wants to play 16 games, but he tore his ACL kind of late, so it's more looking like he'll end up the start of the season on the PUP list.
Yeah, and I know he wanted to play those games in. It's kind of like Navarro Bowman. When you have these ACL, MCL, LCL surgeries towards the end of the year, you really start missing the game probably halfway through the recoup and the recovery process. But Tom Brady's going to need him.
Yeah, he's definitely going to need him.
You're going to need to have that solid weapon there to give him that comfort because obviously New England and Denver are the favorites, in the AFC to make the Super Bowl.
Gronk is the difference between getting to the AFC Championship game and winning the Super Bowl.
I agree. And also you got to think, based on what happened last year, they've made some moves, Aqib Talib, and then you obviously got some moves on Denver's side, Revis, and obviously, DeMarcus Ware, and you're bringing in quite a lot of quality players. So it's going to
be fun.
Real exciting as we move forward. And one last tidbit of news. One of our favorite players in college football, Mr. Johnny Manziel. Okay,
I'm looking forward to watch you each and every week, Johnny.
All right, Mr. Cleveland Browns QB, Mr. AKA Johnny Football. All right, he's got the number one selling rookie jersey already, and it's not even close.
Did you who else would you thought it'd have been?
Right. Well, maybe Javion Clowney. I mean, Javion Clowney's supposed to be a pretty big name.
That Johnny Star Power.
Right.
That's Johnny Football. Your name Johnny Football. You's a big deal.
Right. I think Khalil Mack's jersey will start selling after this season as well. But he just got endorsed with Snickers.
Okay.
All right. So he's doing big things. But then he's also got endorsed by McDonald's. Right. Can't go wrong there. Nissan, and obviously the big one, Nike. Okay. Right. So obviously he's making
following
waves.
Following his boy LeBron.
Following his boy LeBron. Right. And Drake. Right. And the thing is he hasn't even played a snap in the NFL yet, and he's probably making more money than any other rookie right now just based on endorsement deals. So shout out to Johnny. We really look forward to watching you this year.
Sir,
and don't worry about the haters because I know you will prove them wrong if not year one, year two.
All right. Look, one last thing. I was reading something. I don't think this guy gets enough props, but Lavonte David.
Okay.
I read a nice article about him and Lovey being the perfect match. Kind of Lance Briggish type of chemistry with Lovey and how he had with Lance Briggs and Lavonte David, and now Lovey is getting that type of chemistry. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Lavonte David. I know you don't get a lot of recognition. You haven't been to the Pro Bowl yet, despite putting up all pro numbers. So
both years, rookie season and obviously in his sophomore season last year. And they actually had a poll on NFL app, on the NFL Network. Who are the best 5 linebackers, in the NFL right now, right? And it went number 1, Luke Kuechly.
Of course.
All right, and then number 2, these aren't in any order either. Von Miller, right, went obviously, and then you had Navarro Bowman, Patrick Willis, and they had Lavonte David. So, for a playmaker that's not really well known, he might be the most unknown superior top linebacker, and they do call him Brooks Jr. From Derek Brooks, obviously being on the Bucks in the past. That's what they kind of call him in camp. So I'm hoping that he has big things for us this year.
So shout out to Lavonte David. Stay on the lookout. Football season starting. So next week we're gonna go over each division, and go over every team, give you kind of a preview of what to expect for the upcoming season.
Yeah, and I'll be getting that Lavonte jersey real soon, so don't worry, Mr. David. I'll be repping you shortly.
Northwest Sports Fanatics.
Northwest Sports Fanatics.
Tell a friend, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Like the page shirt. We'll be back at y'all ASAP like Rocky.
Tomorrow.